So I don't even know where to start with this one. But I will always say, trust your gut. Your first thought is usually the right one. With that being said, when I had a strong feeling that my so-called best friend was messing with my baby father, I should have trusted it the first time I sensed it. But my heart kept telling me she wouldn't do that. She would never. She would never. Okay? So I tried to move past it, but part of me just couldn't. But since it was so up in the air, I cut her off. We stopped talking for about a year, but I started to feel bad and miss her. Even though I was still conflicted about the situation, I reached out and we reconnected. This time, things were very different. They felt different, they looked different, they were just different. First of all, when she would come over, the conversation topics would get weirder and weirder. Like, side note, so she would start asking about like, how long do you be having intercourse for? Like, how long does he last with you? Or she'll say freaky stuff like, what's the freakiest thing you've ever done trying to get the scoop? Or she'll say things like, cause, another side note is that with this baby's father, full disclaimer, full transparency, please be 18 and plus while watching this. I only gave that man head maybe about 2 to 3 times the whole duration of our relationship. This one, she's the head queen. I give it to her. She loved giving head. She was probably very good at it. So, she wanted to know where my head was at with that. And baby, it was nowhere because he wasn't getting it from me. So, moving forward, the conversations just was getting weirder and weirder. So, I'll say it again. God will show you better than he can tell you. Okay? So then I found out my baby father was popping pills and living with a bunch of crackheads. One time we was on FaceTime and I could tell he had just took a hit. Don't ask me how. That's a whole nother story on how I knew that he just took a hit. Okay, that's a whole nother story that I will tell in the near future. Follow, subscribe. Moving forward, one random day she texted me. She said, we should try crack. Wait, y'all should see. Look at, when I wrote this, I put ... with the eyes because girl, what? I left her on red for the whole day. Cause what the fuck? She texted me that night asking like, do you want a link? I said, sure. She came over and it was clearly awkward. So after some time had went by, and after we continued smoking and drinking and, and playing Uno or whatever we was doing with the usual, she said, did you get my message? I said, yeah, but I didn't know what to say because like, what the fuck, that was mad weird. She said, it was a Facebook trend I seen going around. So in my head, I said, girl, shut the fuck up. That nigga got you doing crack now. It's obvious. But we laughed it off and we kept it pushing. Like we continued doing whatever we was doing. Moving on, as she continued to come over, I started noticing that she started to like observe me. Like she really started to pay attention to my outfits. She started asking me about my jewelry choice. Like, oh, do you wear gold or silver? Bitch, we've been friends, We've been friends for over 20 plus years. You know I'm a gold girl. I only wear gold. She's like, Oh, I could tell because of the dark undertone. What? Now, this is a girl who wears piles of makeup and wears silver and gold and all types of random jewelry, okay? Like, pick a side, pick a side. But anyway, so then she started complimenting on my outfits. Like, one day she came over, she's like, oh, you look so cute. She doesn't always do that. You know what I mean? Because you see me so often, there's no need to do all of that. You know what I mean? But she's observing me, like I said, on some weird shit. So she'll come over like, oh, you look so cute, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, okay, thank you. You know what I mean? Keeping it pushing. Then, hold on, y'all. Let me catch it because it's a lot because I'm going off track and I'm trying to read. So then she tried to compete with me. So my phone had got messed up. My 11 had got messed up, you know. I think, I'm not even going to blame it on my daughter, but she did throw it and it cracked completely to where my phone wasn't doing anything. So I had to get a new one. Now, I had told my baby father, like, you know, I got to get a new phone, blah, blah, blah. All of this, you know, for the communication part or whatever. So the next time I had seen her, she pulled out her 13. Like, oh yeah, I got a new phone. Mind you, there was nothing wrong with her old phone. So I'm like, oh, that's nice or whatever, cool or whatever. Mind you, I didn't pay it no mind. I just said, that's cool. You got the 13. What do you want? A party? And she noticed that I was unfazed, unproud of her, uninterested, and she made a little smirk in her face. You know what I mean? You got to pay attention to people's body language. So she felt some type of way, clearly. So I was like, oh, okay, nice. Then when she came over, she looked disappointed, and then she wanted to try to look like me. So I used to always get this hairstyle that my sister would call the baby doll style, which was the bang with, like, you know, the inches or whatever. It really didn't matter, but I always had it because I looked so mature and so cute with it. My sister would call me like a baby doll. Like she said, I used to look like an actual black baby Barbie doll or whatever. So little do you know, when she came over that time, she showed me the screenshot of the purchase she just made with the wig that had the bangs and all that. So I started looking like, oh, okay, that's nice or whatever. But I started to notice that it was getting real spooky. Real spooky. Then one day she came over dressed like she was going to the damn club. Like she looked cute. I'm gonna give that time. She looked cute, but she was dressed up. I was like, oh, where are you going? She was like, nowhere. I just felt like getting cute. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Then, you know, after a couple hours of us chilling, she gets a call. And she's like, I guess they asked her, like, where are you at? So she's like, oh, I'm at Jazzy's house. Like, mind you, she turned to her whole body. She whispered it on some weird shit. So I asked her, like, girl, who you telling you at my house? This girl said, her brother. Like her brother doesn't know me. Like her brother doesn't have a full-blown crush on me. So for you to be all secretive about it was very weird. Then shortly after that, my baby father called me like he was outside with my daughter because, you know, he had her for the couple hours that he had her. And it was time for him to drop her off. Thank you. And it was time for him to drop her off.